The price of XRP dropped to less than a penny per coin on the exchange bitrue. David Schwartz said that there's a proposed feature on the XRPL that he's more excited about than any other proposed feature in the last 10 years. And the last thing, a man confronts a lot of the executive editors from major newspapers about free press and how they've been totally misrepresenting what's actually going on in the world. Make sure you guys tune in all the way to the end of this video to find out. Hey guys, it's Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys can go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already. Click the bell notification down below so YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end. And if you guys could share my videos and share my channel with anyone, I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can, and I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. Getting started, today's going to be Wednesday, April 26th. When we get to 200 subscribers, we're going to be doing a small giveaway of either HBAR tokens or XRP tokens. And when we reach 250 subscribers, we're going to be going ahead and doing another XRP giveaway. There's going to be multiple winners, so I'm not just going to do one winner like I did with my last giveaway. So please make sure you guys share my channel. Getting started though, the total market cap for all cryptocurrency right now is $1,191 billion. This is a 0.57% increase on the day today. So we had a nice day today. I know it doesn't really show it, but the price of all cryptocurrencies went up drastically. We were up about 6% and then we dropped, just depending on which cryptocurrency you were looking at. We started out roughly about $28,300. We're a little bit $500 over what we were at previously to start the day yesterday. But Bitcoin did reach, depending on which chart you look at, this chart doesn't show it, but we'll show you in just a little bit that Bitcoin did reach over over $30,000. I'm sorry. Right here on this chart, it reached $29,970. But on other charts, Bitcoin did surpass the 30,000 at 30,000, roughly $31 is what the Bitcoin price looked at earlier today. Getting to our biggest gainers and losers on the day today, KAS is going to be our biggest gainer at 16.2% gains. EGLD is going to be up 14.3%, and RNDR is going to be up 11.4%. Our biggest losers on the day, Crow is going to be down 7.5%. Hex is going to be down 6%. And then right here, FGT is going to be down 3.6%. So we're roughly about 50% green, 50% red, just depending on which coins you're looking at. So we just had a decent day today. Not very great, but we did have some coins that did pump high. And a lot of people who day trade probably made a little bit of money here and there. Getting into this though, this guy right here, his name right here is Jose Vega, and he confronts a lot of executive editors, especially from the New York Times, Washington Post, LA Times, and Reuters about what's been going on. You guys can't watch this video, and I wouldn't play it. It's 3 minutes and 31 seconds long, but he basically says that they're trying to block the stories that have been going on from some publishers. He talks about how Tucker Carlson was fired and for talking about the truth about what's going on. Right here, he talks about that they were wrong about Iraq war, Syria, Russia Gate, all the stuff that's been going on. They're not talking about what's been actually going on in Ukraine and how Ukraine wanted to bomb Russia and start World War III. And he basically asked them to basically do their job and comment on it. Now she grabs the mic and she says, "We want to listen to everybody's points of view," and then basically just says, "Thank you, but we're going to listen to everyone else." Also puts the mic down. Now, towards the end of this video, I want to show you guys that he's actually escorted out by the police, and they actually tackle him to the ground right here. It just shows that a lot of people on the major left wing can go into a lot of these press rooms or into college campuses and disrupt what's actually going on for freedom of speech. And then when this guy does it, he gets escorted out by the police, but they'll escort out the other individual who's a keynote speaker for the right side. Now, I'm not trying to say right or left, but this is not a double standard. This needs to be fixed. Getting in though, Tucker Carlson did get fired from Fox News. We talked about this. He finally released a little video. If you guys want to watch this, you can. Anything that I talk about is going to be in the comments below, so make sure you guys look at that. But he basically thanks everyone for endless support, and as long as people are still willing to stand up for free speech, that's what the American dream is basically all about. And he's still going to figure out something, I think. But as of right now, he has not been picked up by anyone. There's been speculation and basically a bunch of people that are joking around saying that Elon should start a news organization on Twitter and hire Tucker Carlson to be the executive for that. This is really funny, though, and I wanted to point this out. This is why, according to Wall Street Silver, this is why Biden won't be able to debate anymore. So he was caught with a little placard right here, a little brochure, and has every question that's going to be asked, and then possibly probably an answer below that he should be basically respond to. So it says right here, they have already said that he won't debate RFK Jr. I suspect by October 2024, the mental decline will be so severe that they will have to come up with an excuse to avoid a Trump debate also. Now, normally when a president runs for reelection, they normally don't debate and go along their party lines. Normally, if a president from whatever side, Republican or Democrat, wants to rerun, normally unless there's a huge issue, they just let the incumbent just take over. Now we'll see what happens with this though, because this president is the oldest living president at 80 years old. Is he mentally fit? There needs to be a discussion about that. So, his party needs to do his due diligence. Now, for a lot of you guys, especially on my TikTok, I have a lot of haters. This is actually a vetted source also right here. Here's the cheat sheet. Everything tells him exactly what he's supposed to be doing. And the list just goes on and on. This is not the first time that he's been caught with this. So you guys can tune in. This is the New York Post. So if you guys want to go ahead and read that also. Twitter files reveal the Pentagon partnered with Vanguard in billion-dollar project to censor free speech in America. Are my fellow Democrats troubled? So Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is the one that wants to run against President Biden for the Democratic primary and basically try to win the Democratic nomination to go against whoever the Republican nominee is. We'll see what happens though. But this is just really interesting. If you guys don't know who Robert F. Kennedy is, he is the son of a former Senator, Robert F. Kennedy. He's the junior who was assassinated. And then all of you guys should know who John F. Kennedy was, who was assassinated as well, and he was our president at the time during the assassination. So if you guys want to, you guys can click. It says DoD awards a $779 million contract to combat misinformation. It kind of just blows my mind that they're doing this because our major news network should be doing this. Why is the Pentagon giving out money for this? But Vanguard was the one that basically got all of this money and to censor free speech here in the United States. Moving on, though. Protect people's freedom to pay from Wall Street Silver as well. This is misleading. A central bank digital currency is a surveillance money. Its purpose is to monitor your purchases and control how and when you spend your money. So, right here, European Central Bank comes out and says this is what's going to be going on. And basically, this protects your freedom to pay with a CBDC. Now, I'm not liking really CBDCs for cryptocurrency. It's a way for basically to have complete control of over your finances, and basically enter into a social credit score. If they don't like what you're doing, the government wise, they don't like what you're doing in your free time. If they feel like you're driving around too much, destroying the economy with gas and stuff like that, they can basically put a hold or a freeze on your guys' accounts. They have more control. Now, we'll see if this actually goes through or not, but that's essentially what a lot of people are speculating. Getting into our Watcher Guru news, Russia finance minister says new payment system will allow unrestricted use of cryptocurrency and cross-border payments. This is what we want, okay? If you guys are especially XRP holders, we want cross-border payments. We'll see if this is actually being used with the XRP token. Right here, Justin, 70% of trade deals between China and Russia are now settled in Chinese yen or Russian rubles. This is a huge decline of the US dollar dominance globally. Binance US terminates $1 billion deal to acquire bankrupt Voyager digital assets. I'm assuming there's a lot of reasons for this. Probably the main reason, though, is when they actually were getting ready to finalize the deal, they got their balance sheet and then determined that it was actually not fiscal responsible for Binance to take over Voyager's assets. Watcher Guru points out, and we've talked about this before, that Jim Cramer said that First Republic Bank is a very good bank. The stock has now since fallen by 89% over concerns that the bank is at a high risk of collapsing. First Republic Bank is expected to be seized by the U.S. government. There's a lot of people in the banking institutions that basically say that the government needs to step in now to save this bank. If they don't, they're going to face the consequences later. This is a little bit of the fear mongering right now that a lot of our banks are going under. They basically mismanage their funds, and now they're expecting the government to come in and seize help. UK blocks Microsoft's $69 billion deal to acquire Activision. This is really interesting because this was going to dominate Microsoft in the Xbox community. In the console space, I like Xbox a little more than PlayStation, but I know PlayStation has its advantages as well as Xbox. But this was going to put Xbox leaps ahead of PlayStation, and then a lot of people say that PC is best too. Just basically whichever platform you guys like. Brazil president says he supports creating a new currency for BRICS nations to trade with. Again, getting rid of the US dollar. Brazil is the capital for BRICS in the first letter in BRICS, so we'll see what happens with that. Right here, I told you guys that Bitcoin did surpass $30,000. First Central Bank stock price in April of 2022 was $152 per share. Today it's $4.92, a 96.75% decrease. We can see the stock drop drastically right here. This is what's really interesting, and this is what's showing that the US dollar is complete failing under our administration. The Chinese yen overtakes the US dollar as most used currency in China cross border transactions for the first time in history. For the first time in history, this blows my mind because China's been using their currency for however long, and then the US dollar immediately, when it takes over, destroys the Chinese yen for cross border payments in China's own country. And now the yen now is officially taken over. Ted Cruz says it's incredibly bullish on Bitcoin and he bought the dip. He says he owns a little over 2 Bitcoin and continues to buy. We'll see what happens with this. If you guys are bullish on Bitcoin, awesome. I don't like Bitcoin, but personally, everything follows along with the markets right now. If Bitcoin price goes up, everything else goes up. As Bitcoin price drops, everything else is going to drop. Also, again, no financial advice. Argentina to pay for imports in Chinese yen, ditching the US dollar. So another country again today just announces that they're going to get rid of the US dollar. This is probably the biggest thing that's going to save the US economy right now. We've obviously been mismanaging our funds. We keep on going into further debt. As a country, the U.S. House passes bill to increase the debt limit by $1.5 trillion. So Speaker McCarthy ended up reaching a deal supposedly with Democrats about raising the debt limit. Democrats have been saying that they've been holding it hostage. But Republicans just wanted some sort of stipulation that they're not going to mismanage this money and it's actually going to be used what it's supposed to be used for. Getting into some more news, though, right here. James K. Fallon in response to John Deaton, it says, John Deaton wants to attend a Zoom meeting. Basically, there's a court case that's been going on between Ripple and Zakari, I believe it is. It's a case that's been going on in China. We'll skip this for a second. Right here. Here's the case right here, though. The court is going to take the hearing's going to take place in a federal court in California. It's a class action lawsuit against Ripple. Zakinova versus Ripple is what it is from 2020. So basically, there's this individual who bought Ripple, and now he's filing a class action lawsuit saying that it's supposed to be a security. It has nothing to do with what's going on with the Ripple versus the SEC case, so I want to make this known. Right here it says that John Deaton filed a motion to leave the file of amicus briefs on behalf of the 75,000 Xrpl holders in the case to have their voices heard before the court. His motion hasn't been ruled on yet, so we're waiting for a ruling on this. Crypto Law wanted to say that this is not the SEC versus Ripple, nor does it have anything to do with the case's progress. And we completely agree with this. But in this case, it's really interesting because the person who wants to be the lead plaintiff of this case, he bought XRP and held it for less than 2 weeks and then sold it and then was mad that the price of XRP dropped and he lost money on his trade. And now he's filing a class action lawsuit due to the Ripple versus the SEC case. Says that the SEC deems it a security, so obviously it must be, and he wants Ripple to basically pay him back and then some for his pain and suffering. It's complete BS. Obviously, if you got buy into something and for whatever reason it loses its value, you are not out your money, and the person who sold it to you isn't actually obligated to pay you back. So we'll see what eventually happens with this. The hearing happened today, so this was from yesterday, but the hearing actually happened today, and basically all the judge did was basically say that it's going to be another month before a date's going to be set for a trial. We'll see again what happens. I'll update you guys further on what's going on with that. Right here, this just shows that the NFT purchased by Logan Paul for $623,000 is now worth $10. Some people say it's now up to $20. It's just speculation right now. But it kind of just blows my mind. One of my students brought this up, so I had to find it, and I did. So I wanted to bring this up. I'm a high school teacher, and some of my students talk about cryptocurrency and NFTs, and they wanted me to, put this out here. Right here, this was kind of really interesting. This is one of the most important things that's going on in our financial markets today. So the SEC wants to raise the accredited investor amount. So for those of you guys that don't know, to become an accredited investor here in the United States, you have to have a $1 million net worth and or a little over $200,000 salary per year. The SEC wants to change that and basically say that if you want to become an accredited investor, you have to have a $10 million net worth. This is just ridiculous because it says right here they are upset that more than 13% of the population can invest in early stage startups. So these are investing in companies that are pre-IPO. So if you're an accredited investor, you are able to do that. So basically what the SEC is saying, unless you have $10 million, you're too stupid enough to actually invest in companies that are startups, because obviously if it's not backed by the federal government right now, if it's not considered a security yet or deemed a security by the SEC and it's not on Wall Street yet, you shouldn't be able to invest in it because you're not smart enough. Now, this guy challenged it. His name is Brandon Brooks. He basically says that he's made a lot of money investing and basically that the government's just kind of fed up with it. Lady K posts the YouTube link right here that if you guys wanted to watch the full video, you guys can, on the effects of accredited investing requirements. And in this video, it shows that the House passed, or the Equal Opportunity Act for All Investors Act of 2023 just passed 42-1. That this means that if you pass the SEC, the exam that the SEC is going to create, which will be free of charge and open to the public, you will be accredited investor. This is really interesting. Basically, this guy right here comments and says that watch them change the verbiage to sophisticated investor, because the SEC is trying to do everything that they can to stop the little man from actually gaining wealth in the United States. And this is just one way to do it. We talked about how in the video, early on, I told you guys that XRP price dropped to less than a penny. Bitrue comes out and says right here on the 26th of April, which was today, between 7:15 and 7:16 UTC, we experienced a technical glitch in our system, which led to certain orders of XRP/USDT being placed with incorrect prices and quantities. Bitrue will be taking the following actions to rectify the matter. All positions made between those timeframes will be reversed and the margin amount will be returned to their accounts. For users who have been liquidated, all losses will be nullified and their margin amount will be refunded to their accounts. The settlement price of the XRP will be marked at 46.96, taken at 7:15 UCT time. We deeply apologize for any inconvenience caused. Now, obviously, this is really going to be beneficial to the individuals who got liquidated or those individuals who basically got so scared and sold. I'm sure not anyone sold a lot of XRP tokens during this time frame, but I'm sure there were a lot of people who probably put in some buy orders. Uh, Obviously, those buy orders were probably reversed, like Bitrue says. It's only time's going to tell if those liquidation prices and those losses actually get put back into the XRP token. And then also, how long is it going to take for Bitrue to actually pay back those individuals? Right here, the Bearable Bull says the XRP army has been showing these clips for almost 3 years. You only care now because it's your turn. And what he's talking about is Brian Armstrong's post. Wow. And there's a bunch of clips right here. And it just keeps going down. There's a thread. More clips are going to be shown. If you guys want to, you guys can follow the thread. But basically, right here, Gary Gensler talks about how the SEC has no clue what they're actually doing. And this is prior to him being in the SEC. He basically says that 3/4 of cryptocurrencies, this is while he's an MIT professor, are basically not considered securities, and you can basically invest as much as you want to in them. And he actually talks about how powerful and how beneficial crucial currencies can be. But then basically when he becomes the head of the SEC, he basically says that all cryptocurrencies are considered securities and there's no clear rules or regulations, but there are according to him. But even though when actual companies and cryptocurrency tokens go to the SEC and ask, are we falling in line with where you guys deem for regulation? Gary Gensler says, I don't know, basically keep on going and find out. And then obviously when they keep going to find out, they get a lawsuit. And it was very important that Bearable points out, because when Ripple, the company, and the XRP token got sued, Coinbase took XRP off of its exchange, saying that there, until there's further clarification on the XRP token, they're not going to do anything and they're going to delist XRP. Now they're talking about this and being like, oh, he's overpowerful right now. He's obviously has a grasp over reach of power and he needs to be figured out because right now we need to compile all of this evidence to use during our trial. But where were they during the Ripple case when it first started? It's very interesting that now that they're starting to say stuff. Moving on though, Frederick Boley comes out and comments to Eleanor Tourette and says, here's the official Coinbase petition for writ of memorandums against the SEC. Note that we've got on the legal team these individuals, and Fred comes out and says, so what's going to be on here? If Coinbase wins, then the SEC will be ordered to respond to Coinbase petition requesting rulemaking in a specific time. The SEC can and will simply say petition denied. This is the appearance of doing something without actually doing something. And it's not wasting any legal fees because he's confident that it's the same legal team retained to handle the pending enforcement action by the SEC. So with this, basically Coinbase said that they came out, I believe it was July of last year, asking for further clarification on what's deemed a security and what's deemed a commodity from the SEC in their eyes. And they basically haven't gotten anything. So basically they're asking the courts to figure this out. The SEC is going to say that, sorry, we're denying it. If you guys want to, you guys can read this. It's very interesting. It's from fortune.com. That's an article basically explaining everything in further detail. I give you guys some brief knowledge, and then I want you guys to do your guys' own research on things. Uh, Eleanor Tourette also says a source close to Binance on whether the exchange plans to join Coinbase in suing the SEC. Company leadership is highly supportive of Coinbase and their efforts to bring reason and clarity to U.S. crypto regulations. However, the company is starting to deal with the fallout of FTX, is what it goes on to say. So they're basically saying that they're not going to probably participate and basically file an amicus brief in support of Coinbase versus the SEC. And the reasons why is they're still dealing with some uh, law and regulation stuff that's dealing with the fall and collapse of the FTX exchange. John Deaton comes out and says this right here to Paul Grewal, who is the chief legal officer over at Coinbase, and says that at Coinbase filing today is the second writ of memorandums filed involving crypto. I heart the petition because I filed crypto's first writ of memorandums when I sued the SEC, asking the judge to order the SEC to do its job and amend the Ripple complaint. If you guys want to, you guys can basically come down and read this further. But basically, he says that, he loves this and everything under the Howey test. Basically deems Ripple and the XRP token not deemed a security. Zach Rector, gives an impressive thumbs up to this right here. It says the following image shows Ripple employees like Rosie Rios. For those of you guys who don't know, she was the treasurer of the United States. If you guys look at your guys' $100 bills, and these are the new $100 bills, her name is actually written and her signature is actually on the bills. So she's super important and she sits on the board of Ripples. But these are all individuals right here that used to work for the federal government any way, shape, or form, and then now sit on the board of Ripple. So obviously, Ripple is highly connected to the government, and that's why a lot of people deem Ripple to be the global currency, cross-border transaction currency that's going to take effect here pretty soon. Now, we talked about how David Schwartz has a new feature that he's personally excited about. This is it right here. So if you guys want to, you guys can click the link below, but I'm going to read this because I think it is important. So features include no MEV on or front running, protocol native AMM, and that's automated market makers, single-sided liquidity provisions, continuous auctions, CLOB functionality. So the summarizations are below. So these are for everything. So no MEV or frontline running two features. Federated consensus sublets of nodes agree on TXs rather than a single validator prioritizing based on gas fees. Canonical transaction ordering TXs are ordered in the dramatic 6 hard to predict manner. Number 2, protocol native AMAs or automated market makers are at the blockchain level with liquidity shared across the chain. Anyone may create a XRP liquidity pool that the whole ecosystem may use, and those building on the XRPL can then integrate DEX interfaces without bootstrapping liquidity. This is important. A lot of people are talking about coming up with their own liquidity pools and basically pooling all your XRP tokens together, and basically loaning it out. Single-sided liquidity provisions. So LPs may deposit a single asset into a pool with half of its value automatically converted into the paired asset. Examples: deposit of $100 of XRP into a USDC/XRP pool, with 50% of XRP being automatically converted into USDC to maintain a 50-50 split. Continuous auctions. Arbitrations may be bid for 24-hour slot windows with near zero trading fees. Bids are partially distributed among each AMA pool, compensating LPs and reducing intermittent loss. And then CLOB functioning. XRPL's new automated market makers, now incorporates both central limit order books CLOB functioning as well as AMM's pricing, with the best available price being executed for any given transaction. Both designs come with trade-offs, but the new AMMs has the best of both. The full article provides the in-depth of each detail on each innovation, and it's recommended for any developers looking to build on the network, and you guys can check this link below. Now, there's a lot that goes on with this. Obviously, some of it's really hard to read. I struggle a little bit with reading, but if you guys want to, it's a full in-depth thing. It shows a lot of useful information, especially if you guys are well versed in what's going on in cryptocurrency. A lot of this makes sense. If you guys aren't, though, it takes a lot of time to explain. So I want you guys to do your guys' own independent research on a lot of this stuff, but it's really interesting. David Schwartz actually comments to somebody right here. So it says, Neil Hunter says, how do you expect AMMs will affect the amount of data being stored on the ledger? Seems like currently there's a high ratio of unmatched offers that continually get canceled/replaced. In AMM's world, there could be a lot more offers being matched by AMMs. And David Schwartz ends up commenting and says, I don't think that the impact on anything but cross-asset payment transactions is likely to be significant. Cross-asset payment transactions will have the execute against AMMs, so there will be some extra computing load here. And he basically goes into a little bit further detail, but he basically talks out, for those of you guys that don't know, he's the CTO or the Chief Technical Officer over at Ripple. He's very smart and intelligent, and he knows what he's doing. And if he's bullish on this feature right here, everyone in the XRP community is going to be bullish. Make sure you guys, again, follow me. If you guys have not done so already, we are going to be doing a giveaway, like I said, at 200 subscribers and 250 subscribers. So please share my channel with anyone, guys. Thank you, guys. If you guys can invest with the big dogs, stay on the porch. Thank you, guys, and have a good one.